All right, everybody, welcome back. I mean, it's still the Truth Hangout, and we are glad to be back in here. This is a part two of our conversation around Christian art and entertainment. How far is too far? That's what we're talking about today, and we've looked at a relationship with God. We've talked about appearances. For those that, in case you've not seen that video, we'll drop a link in the description below. So go check it out. Yeah, so I'm not alone in this building. I still have the one and only Juke.
Yeah, we're still here, holding it strong, and we hope our art does not conflict with. It's not mistaken for entertainment. We hope this session blesses you.
And yeah, we still have Mr. Dehniece in the hood.
Yeah, I'm the one bringing the controversy. I'm glad. It's good to have you, man.
All right. And like I said earlier, we're recording live at the Audio Factory, Global Audio Factory Nigeria, in Uyo, Nigeria. We're glad to do this. It's always a pleasure. And by the way, Global Audio Factory is one of our big partners on this. And we're so happy. We say thank you very much. Woo!
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So we move to the next part of this. And I like us to look at creativity. I like us to look at content. Yeah. Now, why is this important? We went back and forth when you're talking about relationship with God. We're talking about appearances. One word keeps coming back and forth: vixens. Yeah, and we went into the dictionary to look at what vixens actually mean, so that we are sure and very clear whether there's a need for vixens in the gospel scene or not. So we discovered that there's no need for it. Yeah, we put that to the side. Now, I like to take us into the movie industry. Earlier we talked about it. There's a lot of things around the music industry, but let's look at the movie industry because movie is also a huge part of entertainment. It's also a huge part of content. It's a huge part of the art. Now, when you look at gospel movies, there is that thing that people say, the content is not strong. You lower the content, you lower the level of excellence just because you're trying to be moderate. Just because you're trying to say, oh, let everything that is done be done in moderation, you know. And at the end of the day, we lower it. Earlier, we had talked about how gospel artists in the U.S. had protested to the Grammy, saying that if you think our music is hot, don't put us in that small box you call the gospel segment, gospel category. Put us in the broader spectrum. If it's for hip hop artists, put us side by side with the Jay-Z's of this world. Put us side by side with the 50 Cent and all of those people of this world. Let's see if they are doing better art than what we're doing. And for the movie industry, we've seen lower standards. It's just a few. I don't know. I'm not a movie person, please. I'm sure both of you watch a lot of movies, so you will help me. If we have gospel movies that are doing very well in terms of the level of excellence that is being put in there. So I'm going to talk about two things in that space. But let's talk about the level of excellence that is there.
Okay, first, I have sometimes the problem I would have for a gospel movie is the fact that like it's going to be too modest.
Mm.
I want to be entertained. It's going to be too modest. Let me try and put myself together and enjoy. Let me just watch it because it's going to be modest. But I want to watch a movie. I want the story told in the way the story should be told,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love Tyler Perry's movies. It's gospel, but he will they will do what they need to do when they want to do it,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can somebody can feel the energy of the movie. Because if the energy of the movie is not felt, then we are all joking. You should have just wrote their Tales by Moonlight and do that. Just one person just sit there and tell us the story reading inside book. We understand.
I don't say that we're
But
pencils.
in the hands of
Oh
it.
no, please don't.
But if it's a movie,
Mhm.
let the thing move.
I like
Let
that.
it move you.
Let it move. You understand?
Yeah.
If it's a movie, let it move. Please do not doctor the level of excellence by saying it has to be. It has. If you are telling a story that is to help us at the end, you probably might cut out some parts
Yeah.
because it's too provocative. It's totally fine, but it has to be as suggestive as possible. Suggest that okay, from here, this thing become bloody, so then free them. Come take. Well, we already know where it will end.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody wants to hold the opposite sex, let's show a picture. Then you let us know that this thing continued.
Let your mind carry you.
Don't come and be telling us and Adam knew Eve.
No.
We don't know what that means. In a movie scene, we want to feel the energy so that we can know it.
Yeah.
Be suggestive enough, but not provocative.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember listening to, I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was Bishop T.D. Jakes. You know, he's also a movie guy. He does a lot of movies. And then he said that in the movies, please, if you have to do it well. If it's a space where somebody will kiss somebody, please let somebody kiss somebody.
Um, you know, I've always thought that, you know, Christian art with respect to movies
Mm-hmm.
is harder than music. I mean, and not
In production,
not in production.
In execution.
I mean, not in execution, but in acceptance, in scrutiny. Because in music, you know, one man, probably a band singing, and then that's all. But then you maybe 3 minutes, maybe 10 minutes or so. But then movie, you're talking about probably 1 hour 30 minutes of looking at picture quality, looking at costume and
in
everything,
location.
and everything. For example, let me give you um. There used to be this Mount Zion. Mount Zion movie still exists.
Yeah, it still does.
There was one Mount Zion movie where there's this man. The man, I know everybody should know that this guy was like he was the bad guy in one of these movies. He was like a spirit husband.
Oh, wow.
He was like a spirit husband. You know, the guy got that role, as in he killed that role. He did so well.
Mhm.
But then he never left people's brain. Many people still think this man was not born again. In fact, if he know they born again. As in, how you go to act spirit husband?
It's an
And you act am well.
Oh, wow.
You understand? You act spirit husband, you act am well. And you know the same thing for people who, like you say, Christian. There's a popular actor there's a popular actor who is a pastor. Yeah, I think Pastor Jimmy Odukoya, Pastor Taiwo, late Pastor Taiwo's son. Yeah.
Mm.
You know, he's good with his craft. He does his thing well. But then many people, always like, I thought this guy was born again. I guess some kind of things what you go do for inside movie where I'd say born again person not supposed
They run am like that.
yeah, you're not supposed to why go they grope him, I use a whole woman things for body like that. That is too provocative, you understand?
So
But
is
then
that too far? Do you consider that too far?
this is
The art.
this is the art, and this is what has given him fame. This is what makes producers and directors call him again for another.
Because he was good. He can explain the entertainment he was giving you. In fact, he is very suggestive.
Mm-hmm.
I understand he's very suggestive, but there are some things you cannot show in the course of trying to be suggestive.
For example, like body parts, you can't
There are
put
some
out.
body parts you cannot show.
You can't put out
Mm.
some sensitive body parts.
Yes.
Sensitive
There are
materials.
sensitive materials.
Sensitive materials that should be supposed to be classified.
Classified.
But when
with
someone is
extra
acting a role like a girl that was probably a rehab, a rehab role.
But dude, say it. Like
you understand?
prostitute, that's
like
what
a
you're saying.
prostitute, yeah, like a prostitute
That's
role.
an English word.
And then she
don't know what
later
you guys are doing.
gave her life to Christ in the movie and stuff like that. And sometimes when people say they don't think this girl is born again because she dressed in a way that was trying to show how
But
these people dress.
that's the character of that. That is the feature of that character. That character has to
Exactly.
look like that.
Now the problem is now the art is good for people who understand it and people whose minds are like open to receive
Mhm.
and receive the message and enjoy the art. But other people are like they're like you said 25%. There are people who are like, so because you had to, I thought you were born again. Why do you have to dress like that?
See, I think the most part of the problem is the fact that people enjoy arts because they want to stamp people's name on what they saw. For example, if I take a role and art in a movie, they want to stamp my human existence and character
Oh,
to that
to
role.
that character.
No,
Yeah.
it's an art.
Camera,
In fact,
camera.
they should share. How can you every time they say sacrifice? That's the person they we have stamped that thing on that guy.
Yeah.
But that man probably just does normal movies, and just because of how his disposition around those things are, people
Yeah.
call him for that role the more, and he to just accept it. Now he's even using it to do publicity.
Of course.
He gets into the city, say, "I want to teach you how the secret of making money by midnight. We should meet at so club." Ah, he has sold the club because he knows he already stamped that identity on him. But I think you should watch a movie knowing that like the disclaimer they will say, the movie you're about to see, the stories and whatever was done for fictional purposes. It's fictional. Means somebody sat back and changed the character and changed the name of the people. So this thing you are seeing is actually not the people you are seeing. It is a story about some other people.
Mhm.
So don't stamp those other people identity that
On
these people
this
are
person.
acting on these people.
That's
Because this is just an act. They are acting. They are giving us entertainment. They are performing.
right. Mhm. Because that's the thing in the end. Like you said, many people will say, man, that guy, I thought he was a Christian."
I know somebody who say, I know a couple of people who will say, they've, you've lost, I think you've lost your faith.
You've lost your footing. You should
Yes.
trace your steps back.
Yes. Why would
You've lost Christ.
Yeah, because
you're holding someone like that in a movie role? Someone who's not your wife.
okay, so talking about losing faith and everything, just a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago, depending on what part of the world you are in, you can choose to pick any of those. His name is what's his name again? Dante Bowe.
Mm.
Dante Bowe. And there was that video that came out, "Wind Me Up." That's the name of the song, "Wind Me Up," and different things happened there. There were what my friend UK will call vixens in that video. That we had ladies,
And gentlemen.
yeah, no, primarily ladies. So we had ladies that wore some stuff, and
Provocative, you mean?
so you see that's the thing now, provocative to a lot of people. And I also know people that were not provoked by those things because they just felt like, oh yeah, he was trying to, you know, act the role, especially because according to them it was a reggae song and shot in Jamaica, so um, they had to leave out the culture, the lifestyle, and how things are being done there. So it was that different. There were different people saying different things, around that. I mean, that's. So I'm asking myself, how far is too far? Did he have to go that far to? You seen the video, yeah?
Yeah, I've seen the video.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the video the first time. I thought it was a secular song,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to ask you, is
Yes.
this a secular? Is this a gospel song?
Yeah.
You say yes. It's a gospel song in my head. I'm like, okay, now I understand what he's trying to do. He's taking the art to the arts,
Yeah.
and has forgotten that this art has where you can pass it through for it to still remain gospel song.
Mm-hmm.
For it to remain a gospel, like I said, the end must portray what you are trying to sell.
Yeah.
Then make sure that from as you are beginning, have the end in mind.
Mm-hmm.
That at the end, somebody should say, "Oh God, I was blessed." even when it's I've seen other gospel songs that they did not mention Jesus in it.
Yeah.
But at the end, you can figure out that fine, oh man, this is not a gospel song,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so cool. But the fact that they did not provoke you till they got to the end was good. But you provoked plenty. In fact, you provoked to the end.
My God.
That's how I took it. I didn't. Me as an artist was confused about the message he was sending. So
Yeah.
I think he didn't sell that work to me.
Yeah.
And I'm very neutral I'm as neutral as possible.
Mhm.
But if I'm as neutral as possible, as neutral as I am, I did not get sold to.
Yeah.
It means he didn't sell.
Yeah, and I'm sure it didn't sell to a lot of people if it didn't sell to you because I'm going to tell you why. You know, one of the reasons why I spoke to you about that stuff was because I kind of I think I've worked with you long enough to understand where you would stand on certain
On
things
art.
on the art, yes, and how much it doesn't matter how far somebody takes it to, as long as like you said, as long as the end would justify the
What you
means.
just did.
Exactly. But the fact that I didn't sell that to you, but I'm sure there's a lot of people around the world who didn't sell it to.
He didn't sell it.
Dante,
I'm
I don't know what to
sorry.
say to you. It is what it
You
is.
need a new video
Yeah.
No, I'm not judging
for
you.
that song.
No,
No,
but,
it's not judgment.
no, but
It's
dude,
just we are critiquing,
yeah.
and we have critiqued and we have criticized and said that video is not a gospel song. Change the lyrics. If you want to make it just a feel good vibe song,
Yeah.
totally fine. But if God, Jesus in it, and all of that, we are telling the story to pull people to God or Jesus,
Mhm.
or however you're pulling it that story. But it didn't, the strategy.
Yeah.
I just tried to see the video right now without sound,
Without sound.
and I couldn't tell
You can.
if it was gospel or not. But in fact, I didn't need to tell. I just thought it was.
Like that.
Yeah, I thought it was something in the.
Wind me up.
You know,
Wind
thought they
me
were
up, yeah.
winding someone up.
Yeah,
Mm.
You know,
that's
it would compete
that's
with Flavor and Naamani.
wind me up. But I'm going to try to reach out to Dante. I really want to reach out to him, to listen to his heart when he was making that song.
The director.
If you can.
No, Dante by himself.
If you can,
Okay.
a recording of that conversation
Yeah.
for people to listen to will be amazing.
Yeah, I'll try to reach out to him. Yeah, because I also want to hear his side of this whole thing. Maybe he was in a space where we do not know. Because I spoke to somebody and the person said, "Man, that man is in a space where people will come to meet later." Not Dante, now another person.
Okay.
Yeah, they were talking about another person saying that where that person is right now, that's going to take the world a long time to come and reach it. I was like, okay.
That's being a pace setter, I guess. But I still stand by
But this kind of pace.
the pace is a lot.
This pace. We may never get to this pace.
Mm.
You know, we will never catch up with
With
this
the pace.
With this pace.
Mm.
No, this one. He has passed the finish line and gone. Yeah, I don't.
In fact, we are not in the same race.
Well, no. We're not. He didn't pass the finish. He didn't cross the finish line.
We are not on the same
derailed.
track.
He derailed.
No, we are not in the same race.
We're not.
So he's racing away.
So in terms of coming back to music, which is your very strong point.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about lyrics. Let's talk about lyrics because I mean we've heard people do songs with lyrics, and there's a popular song in Nigeria, a popular gospel song in Nigeria that quote unquote people says the song has, because I mean I don't know so much about this thing, but people say the song has lyrics from um, cult groups, you know, some street slangs in terms of secret cults, slangs. I hope I'm making that.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know the song I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I know the song. I
Okay.
think I know the song.
Okay, I think you do.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have talked about that song as no, that it's not supposed to be a gospel song. How can he do that? That the lyrics are not what it's supposed to be. You know.
Okay, my question would be: Did he pass his message to the people he? Every art document
Mhm.
is for a certain group, of a certain community, certain demography.
Mhm.
Did he pass his message to the people? what the original intent of his message in his music was it passed, because people actually would release music from their experiences.
Yeah.
That guy has a cult experience,
Mhm.
and the best way he could connect his cult experience with the new experience of light with Christ is using the same language of the street to point the light, so that people who are on the streets can connect. I can if I listen to his lyrics all over again, and at the end, like I said from the start, if the at the end I'm able to connect, because that is actually where this whole art is supposed to lead us to.
Mhm.
If a gospel song does not lead us to being closer to God, or learning a lot about human realities that help us become better people with God, then
Mhm.
we miss the point.
That's right.
Yes. So if in the course of his message, please, everyone who listens to that kind of music, please don't be quick to judge. Listen, is he making sense using the cult language? Because it's useless for you to tell somebody who is in the village who has never seen an apple, A is for apple.
Mhm.
It's useless.
You can say
This
A is for back.
if we say
It's just like when I read the book and it said Y is for yak. I'm like, I've never seen that kind of animal before. I don't know what yak is.
you understand?
Mhm.
So F for phantom. No, okay, the other phantom spelled with F.
Mhm.
But if you just use F for fufu, it's easy.
Yeah.
The person has seen it.
The person can connect.
Yes, it's like talking to me about Jesus is the lily of the valley. Are you whining me? I don't understand what the heck is lily of the valley. I don't live in the valley. I don't know what lilies do in the valley. How important should Jesus become by you using the word lily of the valley to me?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's not that important. I just feel you're just trying to say something. When you finish, get the heck out of my space. You didn't make sense
Wow. I
True.
I heard that one.
True.
I heard that. Mhm.
to a prisoner. Jesus, the bright and morning sun. He's not going to ever see the
He's not
sun
gonna see sun.
until he serves his term.
Mm.
So Jesus will not make sense to him with that name. Use things that relate with people. So I understand with the guy who used cult languages to try and do a gospel song.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yeah, I do.
So it's easy for you to grab his art because of the community that he's been in, his experience. He's pulling the Jesus experience from his experience. So I can totally forgive him. I'm listening. If I listen to him again, I'll listen to him with an open mind and try and see what he's saying.
Are you saying that people should be more open-minded instead of judging from the
Don't
beginning?
judge as soon as you hear, hey, who goes you have locked out. Oh, it's a cult language. True. Cult people coined that out to use for themselves, but who goes you is actually first wrong English, but it's actually you can understand. Yeah, but true. You can understand what they are trying
True,
to
though.
say.
Yeah.
They're trying to ask who the heck is going there.
Yeah.
That means
Who are
identify
you?
yourself. Do you
Yeah.
have a community you belong to? Do you have a
Mhm.
group of people you belong to?
Mhm.
It's a question. You just quickly say, Nami, they go there. Answer now. So they will know you don't belong to a certain kind of group of people. But if they say who goes you and you answer with all the other things, you follow belong. So it's totally understandable. And you wanted to belong.
No, yeah.
But the guy is pulling an experience to tell you that he's been through these things, but he's seen Christ. In the eyes, he has seen Christ from that dungeon. So he's trying to connect with that whole story. So everybody who has been in that path can see what he is seeing. So I think telling the story for him, I understand why he's telling that story. And for every other person who is watching him, I think you should keep an open mind. Finally, we understand that this works for him. So it's art. Another thing, please understand,
Yeah.
when it's art,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be free.
Yeah.
Don't judge.
Exactly.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
If you don't like, there's one button that has two arrows in front. Press next to the next person on YouTube or on Spotify or on Apple Play. Just enjoy yourself.
You must not listen to
You
everything.
must not listen to the guy.
I also know that in the arts, people who write, speak, sing, even act, so, people in the arts basically, they get sometimes they get inspiration. Most times they get inspiration from experiences.
Yeah.
And then this guy has two experiences. He has lived two lives, probably, possibly lived two lives, and then he's marrying both experiences and he's seeing which one is superior. So he's now like he's giving you
best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds, but he's putting one on top of the other one.
Yes.
He's showing you which is superior. And I think, like just like Mr. D said, just appreciate it. Get the message, appreciate the art. This guy is giving you his life. He's putting his life out there for you. He's putting a part of his life out there for you to. He's putting it like in art form for you to understand. And then if you try to criticize
If you don't like the story, pass.
if you don't like the story, pass to the other gospel, the other ones that you like.
The other ones that sit
Like,
well.
yeah.
That sit well.
Yes.
Or
Alright.
you know the funny thing about just listening to music that sits well with you? Don't you get bored? Listen to "Is the whole world in your hands?" And now come "That the judgment day." We all read all of this. We've seen these things. It's totally fine to have this art too, but the more intellectual you get, the more people you're exposed to, the more places you've been to, the more things you can have access to, the more you appreciate the diversity of the possibilities of art. Because I I sell entertainment, so I have to know what is possible to be sold. You get
Yeah.
what is possible to be sold has to be brought to the has to be brought to the fore. Let's see, it is possible to sell this. Okay, let's make our choice. So mine is to bring the whole basket to you, then you pick your own. But in the course of trying to pick your own, don't remove and throw away. It's not your basket. The entertainment world is not yours. You are going to get entertained and go out.
Yeah.
That is why it is called there's Apple Music, there is Boomplay, there is
Spotify.
YouTube, there's Spotify, there's Deezer, there is
In fact,
SoundCloud.
even in all of that, even in all of those
Their
things you
accounts.
mentioned, yes,
There are different accounts
Yes,
hooked
they
to
are-
different people.
different playlists.
In fact, if you search Church of Satan, you see it. You say the devil's box, you will see it. You see the devil, you will see it.
Mhm.
There's an account called the devil.
Yeah.
Check it out. Somebody owns it.
That's right. That's right. You see, amazingly, we can go on and on without talking about this. But I think we should jump to the next thing. Let's talk about the drive for money.